Honestly, I think if they lose it at this tournament, you'll see it get removed and maybe in favor of Dust2, and they'll start to work it again.
We'll see then. We'll get
That's
into
my
this.
prediction.
I just think it's weird. Like just from what I've seen of the couples so far, I think you take a chances on Dust2. Anyway, let's get into it then, shall we? It will be Navi on the CT side here, the controversial side, like you said. They seem to insist on double orbs almost every single time they can get it. To no real series that really leads to justify it, to be honest. We'll see what happens, though. Force the survivor for GT on the T side here. Excuse me. One smoke and a flashbang, and we'll see what kind of setup's going for the CTs. This could be Edward, aggressive towards upper platform. You can see his teammates are actually electing to leave him there by himself. We're seeing a lot of teams do this these days. So when you have that aggression, you have the information allowing you as a teammates to actually fall back and concentrate towards A. This can be quite a beneficial setup. The idea that Edward has to stay alive as long as possible, and he is in danger of getting a little bit wrecked from drop down now.
Drop down as well has been a point of contention for them, given the based on the rotations for Na'Vi. If they solo out toward the A side, Guardian's going to be watching inside a connector toward A. There's 3 players over on that side expecting a fast play, but down drop already. Shox is there. I'm not 100% sure anyone's close enough to even hear that. The closest one that might have would have been C's. He's the one with the kick. Good shot from Edward on far, though, but that's countered out. The P250 from Smiths is able to hit the shot, not the Glock, so better range game. Seized. He's put himself in a position to try and see inside of the site. No one's gone window side of drop, but Scream's considering going back that direction now. And in doing so, he could potentially hear out toward long at the corner where Flamey and Simple are.
Now this is the problem with this setup. As soon as the bomb's down, you've got to retake now. They haven't got any grenades to do it. Guardian has done very well to get some decent positioning here. Simple coming from the upper platform as well. It's an effective flashbang, but Flamey gets wrecked by his teammate there. Simple headshots him and will go down in return. There it is. Just Siege remaining now as he's trying to do what he can in the 4 versus 1. Makes it down to 3. But still, that should be the round concluded there as Shoxy shows him drop down there. So we kind of built that up almost perfectly in the sense of Edward there by himself. He's getting a lot of information, time to call in for his teammates there. But if he goes down early, like that, G2 are going to capitalize. The bomb's planted, and then his teammates at that point, they have to rotate into a bomb site. Some very tight choke points there. We've got the connected doors, drop down, and then the upper platform as well. Obviously, the T is going to be very aware of all those situations, and we'll be locking it down as soon as they try to come in there. So C's tried to do what he can in the 4 versus 1. He only finds 1 kill in the end. And it will be a force buy from Na'Vi. We say they probably need a good CT start here to actually have a chance, in my opinion, on Cobble. It's been pretty lackluster recently. But they're going for the force buy in the second. The CT's going for head armor. Upgraded pistols, Guardian, of course, just a deagle for him. And 3 Tech 9s with G2. They always kind of do this on Cobble. I'm not sure I'm a fan. I think I've actually seen 4 Mac 10s from them before. The Scream this time, at least he's got the AK-47. He can throw his teammates into the bomb site, stay back and try and pick them off 1 by 1. But it's a 4-man stack from Na'Vi towards long A.
Scout going to go out from Smiths, try and get the shot. Does see Guardian, but can't land it. Stat 1 will. 17 HP left. 1 cheeky little shot, and then he'll remove himself from that position because the nade that was thrown would have been enough to take him down. It's a deagle inside of the site. I won't discount it. I do think he could still find a shot.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there. At this point, little fake towards the B site, using that smoke to act as a veil as Shox will stay towards drop down by himself. He's listening for rotations at this point. He'll be stopping players actually getting towards the A side as his teammates do go in charging as well. All 4 players. Edward now going to be receiving just a deagle in hand. It's going to be Shox to find that first kill from the connector as I described before and gets a second as well.
Oh, here we go. Edward, backside not check. Scout goes down, tags as well. Shox and RPK so low, but it's going to be body and Scream. The high HP players finding the kills to make this a lot more promising, you could say. Simple remains in a 1 versus 4. It does have a deagle to work with, and those 2 low HP players could still be a problem for.
Yeah.
Good old G2, especially with the high HP player gone, but watch for the late man coming out of drop. It's right there, right now. It's Shox on SMG. Thankfully, Scream's there, though, because Shox goes down. That could have been a huge problem.
Well then, yeah. The problem is that the Mac 10s against armored players, especially with the head armor as well, it's actually very difficult to take them down, even at mid-range. And Simple does find a couple of kills, but unfortunately for him, can't do much more than that. It's going to be a fully kill here for the CTs. 3 USPs and some PT1000s as well. I think CT's got a PT50 as he has. Simple with Deagle. But at this point, this is where the Mac 10s really do start to pay dividends. They're going to be destroying themselves into the B side, presumably, and they can start farming cash against unarmored CTs. That's something they're a lot more viable. Bit of a struggle when you're up against the force by the CTs, but C's just lining himself up there with a pixel gap towards long A. That's a 1v1 cam here. Why not?
With a chat box open on our right side for Edward. Shot in from Simple's lovely to take down Shox inside a drop. Seized will let one go by, but in turn he falls down, leaves his back exposed a little bit further than I think he realized an RPK. Spotted him up. Smiths was able to take him down. Smith's now going to push out toward long as well with that MAC-10 in hand. And it's Edward on top of the site. Guardians inside hut. Simple behind APC. Good positioning from Na'Vi. But not the weaponry. And a good, better read, in fact, from G2 to go back over toward B.
Yeah, they're playing very well so far. It's going to be them just eradicating all risk at the moment, sticking together towards that B site. RPK closing out all the close range possibilities there for Guardian. He gets taken down. Edward does find a kill in return. They've managed to find 2 kills so far, but as soon as his bomb's planted, they're still just checking out every position in that B site. Don't want to give anything away. Simple, always deadly with the Steagle. And there it is, the headshot. Looking for another one, but can't land it. Scream takes him down. So the 2 versus 1 normally would be quite a tantalizing proposition for Edward here, but just with the MAC-10 and no armor, his days are limited. There it is. Scream will take him down to finish things off, and a 3-0 for G2. We did have a force buy from the CTs in round number 2. Obviously, Guardian will be able to bring out the AWP with no armor. His team is now need to work out, okay, do we need head armor? Are we up against his MAC-10s? It's actually non-safe for G2. Actually be upgrading fully to the AKs. Smiths with the AWP, a very influential round. G2 picked this up. It's almost guaranteed to be 5-0. You can see Na'Vi limited, and then some. They've got 1 kit, glass cannon Guardian, no incendiaries, only 4 smokes. Let's see what happens as we go to round number 4. It's going to be a full default. Normally on these rounds, the terrorists have to bring something a lot faster, especially if they save just some SMGs, but I guess at this point, trying to use the AK to their full potential, work the picks first. Molotov swords drop down an area. Shox, he loves to work on this map, but they'll be smoked out. So he's just denying them any sort of map control in that sense. Yes, he's happy for them to go in towards drop down, but that's although he's spending most of the city utility. He's holding them off.
Scream already working his way up toward long as well. Bomb is going back over toward the A side. Got the sniffles. Are you getting sick too, Henry?
No.
Is it happening?
No, I just need a little cough every now and then, you know?
It's all right. You're allowed. Alex told me you had permission now.
Right.
RPK. Lower mid. 3-2, with 3 being at lower mid, bomb included. Simple's gone inside of the site. He's going to go for the early aggression, though, not wait for them to get close and catch them off. He wants to play with the roof in his favor. Gets the shot toward RPK. Second one nearly presented, but he goes over to Scream side instead. That's a problem, though, because Smiths, he's there with the AWP. Simple down. Guardian gets 2 to respond as Shox is the last to fall. Bomb down on the inside of the APC as well is a huge problem for Smiths. Now flashed off when he goes to the peak. Thankfully, Guardian not facing, misses the shot when he does. Smiths to... can also miss to his right, though, so both AWPs not coming up with money shots. It's going to be Scream to get Edward, though. That makes it a little more promising. However, Smiths misses on the re-peek toward top of ramp on the retake. The rotation's coming in. Scream, good headshot. Down to a 1 versus 2. He's got bomb to work with, 13 seconds. And a second shot, doubling our noise. That's interesting. Makes it twice as loud. It's a thunderous Deagle. It almost sounds like an AWP, but it is going to be... I'm confused. The sounds have thrown me off. Guardian that gets the kill, but Na'Vi prevail 3 on.
You double screamed there for a second. That's why you had double sounds.
I was very, yeah, that was.
I lost track.
I don't have 3D glasses on to make that work. That was like last year's technology on how to get VR into Counter-Strike. You know, Valve's budget Counter-Strike. They had the real VR for Dota. We had dual screen and red and blue lenses.
Yeah. Well, okay then. So Scream makes it interesting. Let's just break down how that got to that situation. It was a full default from G2. Pretty simplistic execution. There's a smoke towards connector, a Molotov towards the balcony as well, flashing the site. Didn't really make too much happen there, but the 2 versus 4, Scream hitting some trademark headshots there towards the APC area, bringing it down to a tight situation for himself, but still running out of time. The city's always had the advantage there in that situation. We're going to go into this one though. Na'Vi, after losing so many frags there, are actually going to be down to UMPs and MP9s after winning the round. So obviously G2 are more than justified forcing into this himself. They've got a scout and Smith. Shoxy with the Tech 9 and the execution begins. Guardian with the first kill.
Guardian potentially getting more, not to be. Bodies there, lines it up, and look at the kills coming in for G2. Shox and Scream.
Doing work.
Shox will make you scream. Flamey tries to find Shox as he rotates back toward the stairwell, but it's Scream that peeks out up close. Those two again. Seems like when you say one's name, the other's immediately there. It's a dynamic duo. One of them is dead, though. So it's a dynamic single, simple shot on Smiths. 1 versus 2. Oh. When he gets rolling like that, that's when his confidence increases and he gets more and more scary.
You're right, absolutely. He's definitely one of those players that builds up confidence, but not meant to be this time. He finds 2 frags, that's all he'll get. It was a difficult round for Na'Vi overall. The fact that they lost so many players in that situation. Yes, Scream doesn't win that actual clutch in the 2 versus 4, but he did so much damage to the economy overall. Actually meant it was a very difficult procedure for Na'Vi to hold him off. A couple of SMGs in there. Didn't have all the grenades. You could see that's why G2 capitalizing in that previous round. That has reset Na'Vi as well after winning 1 and losing the subsequent round. You're only going to get $1,400. So we've got PT50s, Deagles. Simple's invested in head armor. I guess that does sort of make sense knowing up against a couple of SMGs here, but you know what? Maybe that's a bit of too much expense on my liking, but each to their own. He did get a couple of kills in the previous round, which meant $600 extra.
RPK had to dodge out some bullets heading his direction, so he missed the Molotov as a result of that. Molotov, speaking of, will go down now on to drop body. He's got an AK. These two at Mac 10s are smartly bought to go against this of the Eco, which Navi's working with. And again, they struggle to find rounds on the CT side. Shock's going to get wide of the smoke, no gap, but it will dissolve shortly. And Guardian's on the inside of it. There it is, perfectly timed. Shoulder spotted. Mac 10 can't get the shot originally, but on the reface, he will manage to do so. And Seized walks in. No greater fate for him. 5 versus 3. Shocks does get beat by Flamey, who gets in through the windowsill while all the noise and commotion was going on, but Body and RPK holding the round. Down to Simple.
Yeah.
With a Deagle, even if he finds this kill, it's just a Mac 10 to pick up, and he won't even get that far.
Bit of deja vu there for me. This feels like a very similar situation we had about 5 rounds ago, but there it is. Simple can't find the headshot this time. It was down to Shocks. Working the drop-down room there, he finds his first 2 frags, and you know what? That's enough for him. He goes down after that, but the work has already been done. The B side is open. His teammates capitalize, and it was an eco from Na'Vi overall, but 5-1 for G2 here. This is what we're talking about, Matt. Na'Vi just can't seem to get rolling on this map with this lineup. It seems to be, it was poor before, but they still could just about edge out results right now. It just seems like they're getting ran over every single time they play it. Still quite early days, sure, but another eco going forward. It's P250s and a USP to go into round number 7 with. So G2 more than happy to keep these Mac 10s up. It will be RPK and Shocks once again. Shoxy continuing his form towards drop down, finds another kill, and this time it's Flamey to drop first.
Body 2 in front of these smokes. Push through, though. That gives it away. Seized is seen. Body goes aggressive, tagged up, but does manage to hold down the trigger through the box and find Edward. Shocks again with these Mac 10s. They're starting to build up big economy against Na'Vi. Simple will fall. Last alive again. 6-1 for G2. Now I want to see something dynamic. When these guns come back up, if they go to the double op setup, or...
They will, of course they will.
Okay, so, all right. So, it's Flamey to drop it over to Simple. But I need to see something from Guardian, the flash play that we always see, and I don't mean the flash in terms of utility, but the flashy play, the style play where he gets aggressive, maybe a peek toward long A. Who's got the spawn for B? That's the better question.
So this is
going to be Simple.
You and I have discussed to no end, Matt, on podcasts and when we're casting their games. The double orb setup for me, it's something that definitely works on Cobble, but it's situational. You can't bring it out at every opportunity, which is something Navi insists on doing. Haven't really seen it justified, to be honest. Haven't really seen that many promising rounds that really say, wow, that setup for them really works for them. But let's see what happens here. Maybe there's been some adjustments made. Like I said, they've had a few days now to watch how G2 play this map. They've played a couple of times in this tournament. Simple on the orb, and there it is, Guardian as well. No kits, though. Look at that. After 1 minute, we get to the 1 minute 20 mark. No smokes, no incendiaries remaining, no kits. If a full execution comes in, you've got a double orb set up. If a wall of smoke comes in, you are done for.
Yeah, 3 flashes, that's it.
Yeah, they've got nothing to work with here. If a wall of smoke comes down, you can't win the round. That's it.
And look how far. Remember, we said about going aggressive toward long A. Simple went out at least to the corner at Bales, but he's already pushed back inside the site. They've got the map control, G2.
They're making their way back towards B as well. They've got only 2 smokes remaining, so that situation at least negated for now.
And 3 players inside of A. They've forced the rotations as well. G2's got so much to work with. Guardian has to be the one to stop this. Jump across. What a shot. Body down midair. Lovely flick from Guardian. It was to bait the shot out, and he goes down as a result. He will back away from the stairwell and give them the long corridor to work with, but Seized, he's got to come over and play solid. They are still trying to rotate through the wooden door as well. As they've given up drop, they'll leave Simple to cover off the reverse side of it, but now G2, again, they had so much map control. That kill from Guardian, all it really served to do is buy a bit of time, and they're going to try and spray him down through Chicken Coop. They know he's there, shot into tag into Scream, but he's immediately got the response with the AK. And Simple backing away with the AWP. It's Edward that will try and lead charge with the M4. Knows one's gone to drop, but he's lost track, and that could be his detriment. Back turned as bomb goes down. Shocks. There it is, Mac 10. This is looking too easy. Simple's going to get 1, but I cannot imagine. Okay, hold on. Him picking up the round, low HP, but he stays on the op. If he had gone to a pistol, maybe there's a chance.
Yeah, it's a close round in the end, but still, the headline is G2 pick up another round with this. The Mac 10, Shoxy getting out a drop down there. Yes, he kicked off with a nice, impressive shot there from Guardian. You were looking for that. He gets it, but then he's isolated. Once again, they have nothing to hold off the ensuing terrorists. They've already got drop down control. Flashes come in. His teammates are dropping like flies around him. Guardian can only do so much. Simple towards the end. Yes, couple of kills in his favor, but now another eco for Na'Vi. It's going to be G2-7 on the T side of Cobble. Na'Vi yet to really enter at all. They've won 1 single round and got fully reset after that. The economy is going to be a nightmare going forward. Couple of Deagles, CZ and some 5-7s. That's it. Very unlikely they can win the round. They've taken a ton of damage to kick the round off as well. Be Simple, Guardian already hit. And at this point, G2 just hold up, bleed out any utility the cities may have. Did someone just walk past C's there? No, it was his teammate. It's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, there's no one on radar that's out of position in that sense. Shock's down, inside smoke, spots
How many
Guardian, feet
kills is he getting
showing. I'm not even really sure what Guardian's playing at, being on that side of the smoke.
It's old baiting, I guess. He's hoping his teammate will be in a safer position once he just gives up a kill so easily in that area.
Oh, his teammate sees the fall as well. Shox is just adding them up. On the Mac 10 as well. What's his bank's got to be huge right now.
He has got, like, I'm going to say like 12 kills with the Mac 10 so far, maybe a few more. That's pretty much been his primary weapon.
Well, Simple and Flamey at least getting something going in this round, but they'll stick to the Deagles. The Mac 10's all they had available to them over toward B. Smoke off on Thor. Simple's Deagle. Won't have vision of the A site quite so easily. Scream back to grab the bomb. Heads toward the platform. Safety. Yeah, not wallable. Cheeky from Scream, or from Simple rather, but at this point it's getting desperate. I would call a timeout in the first half.
Yeah, this needs a timeout. They're going to have money available next round. I really don't want to see that double orb setup again. Let's try with the 4 rifles here. Let's have a stronger B setup. Let's be able to pick them off with the actual setups there. Wait for them to commit before actually having to taking the jewels at the start of the round. It seems like the only rounds they're going to be picking up is when Guardian gets that initial kill and then maybe Simple can clutch it out. They just need to have something a bit more consistent going forward, something they can rely on. But yes, you're right. This looks way too easy for G2 overall. Like this Mac 10 from Shoxy to locking them down. They've had a lot of eco, sure, but he's actually doing work of it in the gun rounds as well. Edward just trying to find RPK there, but it's punished, and it will be 3 players surviving. Simple saves with Deagle. If he had armor, maybe that would have been worth it, but not really the case here. So they can afford the double orb setup again. Pause comes in, double orbs come out. So
do they give up the double op and try and just get an aggressive rifle and crossfire set?
I'm saying, like, every other team will, like, they'll bring the double orb. Like when you've got a load of rounds in a row, you've got lots of money to work. If you pick up an orb on the floor and you think, okay, cool, let's try and use this, let's bring this into our game. Or if you're super desperate, if nothing's working, which obviously that's the case right now, but still, this has just been the go-to setup for Na'Vi every single time.
Exactly. It's not that it is desperate, but it's not that that's why they're doing it. They're just doing it a lot. I would like to see them go more to a rifle with a passive set, because the problem is G2's not giving them any opportunity to find the picks with the AWPs either. They're using, like you say, baiting out utility, using utility to push them back, and no one's going for the peaks that Guardian punishes them for, aside from Body, who jumped across, and in fairness, Guardian hit a great shot. Yeah, but the thing is, Shoxy's just completely wrecking them. The fact he gets towards drop down every time, you might say, yes, it's fine to let him have it, but they're not so sure what's going to happen at that point, because they've got the Orbs defending him. He's in towards drop down. At that point, G2 can go towards A, or they can go towards B, right? If he's holding the drop down connector, watching towards that window, that's stopping the players inside that B site actually doing anything with it. So conceding it to a player like Shoxy every single round is a massive problem. And the fact he's getting him with a Mac 10 most of the time as well, it's pretty shocking. But I guess at this point, you need to work out, okay, I would say get 2 rifles. Let's start challenging Shoxy in that area. Stop letting him completely have an overwhelming presence in that area every single time. Let's actually challenge him, even if it's an equal trade at that point. At least we've stopped him from having a really key part of the map. It seems that they're allowing him to have it. A lot of teams will do that, but if it's a consistent problem for them, I think they need to address the issue. And I think Na'Vi, what we're going to find as well with, they won in New York, they won on Mirage, they won on Train. Yeah. If Cobble's going to be a consistent problem for them and they keep picking it, they're pretty much going to have to be perfect on all the other maps. And I think that they've got to start getting something like Cash or Dust 2 polished. They don't play Cash, right? So that's always been the Na'Vi ban. Well, if they have 2 maps in the pool this poor, a 5 map. If you want to do double orb setup, Cash. That's the exactly right. That. And Simple's great on Cash. Yeah, let's bring that in. I don't see why they wouldn't. I think their playstyle could favor it. It's peculiar. 5 maps is not a #1 team in the world success. You can be a top 5 team, maybe you can get the right bands, but that was one of the strengths Fnatic always had during their domination. They could play pretty much all 7, 6 easily. Well then, I'm interested to see whether Shoxy's actually got him to drop down once again. I think there's a bit more of a challenge this time. Seas will be actively in there, but he's got no grenades remaining. Yeah, so here we go. He's actually trying to deny this pressure from Shoxy coming in every single time. But Body will be backing him up. Molotov normally directly beneath, then a flash comes in. Seas, if he goes down without a kill, that's when he's in a lot of trouble. The flash is there, using the pole to negate it, but there it is, just dropped. They need 2 players there to challenge it. Like, this is a problem now. Like, they're not really adjusting. It's either passive or 1 player in there. That's not going to be enough. Choose one or the other. Edward takes down Body. Jackson drop again. Not surprising. RPK, headshot on Edward. Same old. Body goes down early. Yeah, okay, we mentioned it, but the trades come back in. RPK's low. Guardian's going to bring the op over a little bit sooner toward the B site. No smokes. That's a problem for G2, though. There's now... I don't even feel like I have to say it. They know Shox is in there. Every round. I was going to say no bomb in their hands, but Shocks just walks out. That works. Flamey gets one, and finally Simple steps up to get two. So they do get the kills required, and perhaps the difference is the bomb going down temporarily from Guardian, but they've got to still find a way to stop Shocks.
Absolutely. You could feel it building up, couldn't you? The fact that Guardian gets that one kill, that is waiting for a flashbang to come in, Shocks his faces, blows his head off, but nice work from Simple then. This time he's rotating in from the connector, gets the opportunity there, there's no smokes deployed from the terrorists this time, but still Na'Vi in a position with a double reset coming after the reinvestment of all the grenades needed, and you can see Caesar near the UMP as well. Still every chance they could drop this round. We'll see what happens as we go into number 11 here. More of a default, show some presence towards A, push the cities back, limit their vision. It's going to be Simple, maybe a bit more aggressive this time. Molotov's down, and fortunately for him, he gets dropped by Smiths, and that's going to be bringing it to a 5-4 pretty early on. Oh dear.
Well, it's a reset round.
Yeah, massively so. They managed to keep two players alive before, but unfortunately for them, didn't have kits, didn't have any nades to bring over, so they had to drop weapons this round, get another AWP out again. So, Scream picks up an AWP for a second there. Side's better of it. Probably the wise call.
Yeah. Double up T side, I can't really see being as potent. Still a minute to work with. They could play for another pick if they were one on either side of the map. Not the case, though. Smith is over here as well. Nade into lower mid, hoping to get what damage they can. But again, there's the last of the hold utility. The rest is just flashes. The Molotov out at long.
Well, the problem now for Na'Vi is obviously the 5-on-4, but where's Guardian going to be playing from? He's on the upper platform. This is actually quite a nice setup for Na'Vi overall. Considering the situation, it's probably the best they could hope for. Guardian's locking down the upper platform. He's at least saying his teammates can focus towards the A side. You can see Cesdo still focusing towards drop down. Now Ed's about to be tested. This could be a full A execution still. They haven't got any smokes GT to be fair, but they're going to be flashing out, going out with manpower here. Flamey gets the first kill. Edward's starting to come to life now with two pretty important kills, I have to say. Still a possibility for G2 though as we hit the 15-second mark.
And Scream, oh, he didn't spot it in time, Flamey. He committed to the door, pops up and takes Scream down. He's so low, Flamey, on HP though. That's the problem, because if he'd gone down to Scream, it would have been Shocks to try and clutch this back. He still might. 4 seconds. He can't plant. Just back away.
He's wants kills.
Why are they... All right, Guardian, I'll give you that. But why are they still looking for the kill? At that point, I guess they had to save the guns.
Oh, a bit of Vape Nation there from Flamey. I respect that.
Yeah. If we were talking about me not being the...
Na'Vi suddenly gets some rounds on the board now. That's promising at least. 8-4. We say the magic number has been historically 5 for Na'Vi. But in this one, I'm not so sure that will be enough. They still have the chance to get 7. And of a round where G2 are limited here, P250, Khalil. Smiths has got the orb. So every chance they can start getting back into this.
So a boost at B. T-side B, that is, walking in toward the hallway. Scream's gone up on the right, not the left box that we often see now to peek the new stairwell. That could be a problem for Guardian, and it is. He walks out, Scream's got the lineup. Headshot from the AK, that's going to give Shocks his invitation to get on drop again. They've got some room to work with. He hits the headshot on C's. You talked about this limited buy. Back to B, and it's the same problems, and Guardian had no idea where Scream hit him from. Flamey's going to get toward the rock, but Shocks has already gone wide. He's outside of the arch. He's waiting for the rock position. He knows it's common. Flamey falls, down to just Simple, 1 versus 5, and Shocks is going to go hunting back toward the windowsill. Smoke's there, but he'll push through this. You watch. He's got the mana power, but it does give Simple a chance. Good snap back. He finds Scream, and Smith's immediately to walk through and get him. If he gets 3 in a row there and they get aggressive, whenever it's Simple and you see him get too early, you just kind of have to hold your breath.
You are a bit of a Simple fan, aren't you?
I think he's such an idiot, but I love watching it work. And when I say idiot, I say it out of admiration. He just does these crazy things that you would never think work.
Well, he's the only one really posting numbers here. Look at him. They've got 4 rounds, but he was 17 kills. Seized, certainly struggling this one. Drop down's been a huge factor for them. He's got 2 kills, Matt. And that kind of testament to how bad it has gone in that specific area we talked about before, drop down. Another eco for Na'Vi, and this will be the 10th round. Almost guaranteed at this point for G2. I won't get too far ahead, but we'll see. Flashes come in, smokes towards mid, that takes away CT vision. GT pushing in towards mid and actually getting some decent map control here. I think they're going to try and boost over the smoke. That's probably not going to work considering the angle. Flamey trying to bait in Caesar at this point. If Flamey's the sacrifice, he's happy to go down as long as his teammate can potentially get a little PD50 kill there. See what happens.
You know, one of the good skills I did learn in high school, because I came through the generation of the first, technological generation, is I learned how to give good PowerPoint presentations. So that's why we're holding it together right now with the lag and stream. But it's going to be Simple. Started off with the Deagle. He'll fall immediately after RPK with 2. RPK with 3 walks up from the bottom of mid. Simple sticks down at Stables. Guardian's gotten a flanking quickly, low HP, but RPK with 4 overall in the round, and that's how much HP he had left at the end of it too.
Your references confuse me.
The Twitch is struggling severely, apparently.
Oh, severe.
So we are
severe technical
radiocasting.
delays.
Yeah, they can still hear us.
Right. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to step our game up then. This is our chance to deliver a world-class performance. Radio. Let's do it.
I'm ready.
Right then, it's round number 15.
I should have told him.
The buy coming in is going to be 2 Famases, an MP9, an M4, and the AWP in the hands of Guardian. They need to step up here. They need round number 5. It's what they historically have always got in the past, and they managed to squeeze out wins. 11-4. With this version of the lineup on Cobble, I don't think it's going to be enough. There's no one really going aggressive. It's a 4-man stack from Na'Vi towards the B site. Guardian by himself towards A, though. That's actually what I've been calling for a while. Let's see whether he can actually do anything with this one. We can just find 1 kill and G2 off. That could be enough, but this time G2 showing presence towards A, pushing the CTs back, and now they're rotating back to the B halls himself. Shoxy, once again, being a nuisance. He's in drop down, and Seas is right next to him with the MP9. Who comes out on top? A full flash to the face to Seas, has to fall back.
And again, Shox has the position he's had all game inside of that drop position. Body through the broken wall, down at long. He's got Flamey. Perfect headshot on the way through with the AK. It's responded by Simple spraying over the right side of the statue, and he's going to try and gamble back and forth on which way Scream's gone. He finds him, spray down again from the M4, bomb dropped. He's got a headshot toward RPK, and he does dink him up, down to 5. That leaves him still toward the new stairs. Smiths with 2 shots on Guardian and seized his AWP. Although you can't see it, looking pretty damn good this game.
I would say so.
No one's going to believe it because they can't see it, but Edward is now in a 1 versus 3 inside of the window at drop.
Yeah.
And round 15, he'll go for this.
It's just Shoxy getting dropped down once again, right? Like, they're just waiting till the smokes dissipate. Shoxy comes out, they're showing presence from the upper platform, and drop down itself and seized. He'll be taking down only the MP9 in the round to be 5. I think he finishes the half on 2 frags. So that was the problem towards drop down. That's the player playing it. Edward gifted a shot there, but decides not to take it. He wasn't going to win the round regardless. But there it is. 11-4. Cobble doesn't seem to be getting any better here for Na'Vi.
It doesn't. It does not at all. It's the same problems. They did have a string of rounds in the middle when they went toward A. I have to say their A looks reasonable. Simple's making the correct decision to go back behind the hut, finding kills on the way through. They're not leaving themselves vulnerable to any positions out toward long where they're getting, their crossfires are letting them down, where someone's overcommitting and not having a support. But over at B, it's god-awful toward drop. Yeah, Shox got in there. I think we're live already. Our mics were... I was dancing, having a good time.
Yeah, me too. It was nice. Well, we are back, and it will be Na'Vi vs GT back momentarily.
We never went anyway,
so
but the
Twitch,
audience is back.
I think Twitch died in Russia. That was the problem we've had. So we started off with ISP issues, and then Twitch in Russia apparently died.
Well, I would say the ISP is responsible for both because we saw our server crash as well. Remember?
Well, no, that's what EPICENTER tweeted out. They said it was ISP to begin with, then Twitch died as well. Just to add to
there
issues.
you go. There you go. I don't know what to say about that one, Henry, but 11-4, we're going to start the second half. You want to analyze the buy like you do?
Well, we'll have a look. We'll have a go. It's going to be 2 smokes for Guardian and Siege. They've got flashes as well, and it's full set of armor for G2. Body's got the defuse kit, and no Superman coming into this round. This is going to be a PT50 on Guardian. Upgrading slightly. It's not quite a Superman.
We've got an upgraded crosshair, too.
Oh, we've got a little cursor going on. I like it.
Yeah.
To show you exactly where the middle is.
Yeah, no scope with that cursor. Na'Vi wants down the drop. It was their detriment on their CT side. We'll see if it is their niche on their T side. So far it works. Flamey's going to find the shot, but Smith comes back in. 1 already, has to go for the reload. Caught between 2. How is he still alive? And he's able to take down Flamey. That is god awkward. As Smiths somehow prevails in that, leaves it into a 3 versus 2, and Na'Vi P250 in the hands of Guardian. They're going to start to go toward the A site instead. Bomb's going to wrap back around, get on top of the platform. And it gives them a chance to get a plant down. Edward's going to go try and find a kill. 2 high HP players stay in connector. The low HP player of Smith, 16. He's going to rotate back around through mid. And Guardian already a slight tag onto Shock's top balcony. Has at least information that he was there. Still hasn't made his presence known. Smith's just getting out towards stable now. He's not fully around the corner just yet, but Edward and Guardian are both firmly fixed upon the balcony position. Shocks has gone in aggressively. Guardian's going to hear this. Edward stuck in the corner trying to dodge out flashes. Dropped down. Now all 3 CTs are in the site because they've wrapped the APC, and Smith's, who managed to survive all the while, is going to be the one that clutches it back with the kill, and he's got the kit as well.
Well, an A split beginning to form for Na'Vi there. Like you said, very messy towards connect. The G2 coming out on top. It was a 3v2 situation. The bombs planted, but ultimately G2 getting together, coordinating quite nicely, finding out where both teams were, locking it down and defusing the bomb. So yes, the bomb goes down for Na'Vi. They do have the option to force into this one. They got 3 kills out of it, I believe. It looks like they're going for more of a conservative approach. I've seen a lot of teams do that recently, forcing up in the second. Not going to be the case this time. They're going for the AKs in the third, which is interesting that G2 have got 5 SMGs in this round. Normally, you'd be preparing for the AKs. You'd get maybe 2 or 3 rifles, FAMASs or M4s, and be prepared for that next round. They've gone for 5 SMGs. I'm not sure I'm a fan, but let's see if it works out for them. UMP is obviously still viable in the next round. MP9 is not so much. Should be a pretty straightforward procedure in this one. It just gets interesting in the next. 4 players towards long A. Obviously, the objective at this point, probably not to win the round for Na'Vi, just to try and force another bomb plant down if they can get an equal exchange at the end of long A. Possibility at least, but there are 4 players towards the A side of the map for now for G2.
Body trying to fire through the smoke with the UMP. Stay at the doorway as well for faster rotation potential onto B, but they're going unstable. Flamey's gone by. Body spots it. That'll call the rotations back. They now know it's going to be on A. RPK trying to find C's, get aggressive because he has to. The sooner he gets that kill, the sooner he can fall back in the site. Thankfully, though, Body's gone to balcony. Does give him 2 kills. RPK falls, but Body's found a 3rd. He's making money on those SMGs. So if nothing else, they'll build up a decent bank having 5 SMGs. They guarantee themselves kill money in that regard. But like you say, this save, the lack of force, the bomb plant down, it's going to be AKs up for the T side Na'Vi.
Yep, for sure. AK's coming out in this round, and this is where it gets a little bit interesting for G2, just SMGs to hold them off. But still, they'll be in a position to buy in the next round, considering they actually found a ton of money in the previous. So RPK, he gets the MP9 of Scream, and Scream in turn gets the M4. So one of their greatest aimers on the rifle. Still have a huge chance of winning the round for sure. We'll see what happens. Will be Guardian inspecting towards mid, but smoked out for now. That smoke will actually hit him there. Takes him out of the scenario. Spray through, try and see what he can do. MP7 shots from returning Smiths. We'll do next to no damage through the door there, but still, every dollar counts. Doesn't actually land any bullets this time. Full default now for Na'Vi, just holding up. They still have 4 smokes available, so they're going to try and get long A control. You can see 2 players will drop down as well. I'd say an A split, almost certain at this point, considering the setup.
Guardian knows the lineup toward the top of the ramp. It's just by Hut. Like you said, the A split. Looking likely 3 inside the site, no one to cover off the drop, so they should get fairly straightforward through connector.
It looks like the A players will be falling back after.
This changes it.
Yeah, they'll be. They've noticed that drop downs got no presence at all there from the CT, so get 2 players in there. Use the AKs, get towards the upper platform, have some range going on for you there. But Body, smoke in hand, as soon as he spots anyone, smoke them out. Time ticking away as well. That smoke, if it's placed correctly at a decent time, could be very beneficial with the CTs here. Want to drop that. Oh, actually buying more time here.
It's extinguished for the most part. It does create a full wall, though, with that smoke and then the little bit of flames on the left. There's no pushing through. Shocks flashed off behind the rock. He's going to play the gap in it. These SMGs, though, they've got no range against the AKs. They've got no firepower through the armor, especially that of the MP9. So Scream, he manages 1 on his M4, but it's Edward to follow up with 2 on the AK. Shocks, we saw it. He got the drop. But he couldn't get the shots in, get the damage done, and it's going to be Smiths going down immediately after. They should have decent money, though.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure everyone will, but enough considering
enough to buy, for sure.
Exactly. And especially with the investment or the return on investment they would have gotten in the second round.
Exactly. And they got a couple of kills there as well. It's an extra $1,200 for the team. So yeah, they'll definitely have M4s going into this round. So Na'Vi dropping 2 there, but they're always going to win that. 5 AKs against SMGs. Never really going to be... Oh, okay, they're not really going for it. GT definitely could have forced into this, but go for the conservative option. It will be Deagles, 5-7s. Some NIP smoke coming towards the B side here. Simple will be throwing himself in through the smoke as well. Oh, decides to go against it. Flashes in. Surely will be committing at this point. There he goes.
Shot in from Simple, successful against RPK, and he's going to go hunting inside of the smokes as well. The tree, he spots the shoulder. It's Scream to go down, and Simple's going to get aggressive inside of the smoke again. Shocks falls, the pistols can do nothing to slow his positions. And it's pretty much all Simple. 3 for him, but very crucial ones as they get inside of the site. All 5 stay alive, very little damage dealt, and G2 halted on 13 rounds will give up 6 now to Na'Vi.
Well, the buy comes in though. Smiths on the AWP. This really will tell us whether Na'Vi can get back into this one. Obviously, a very tough call considering the scoreline. 13-6 right now. This one mistake could all fall apart. Still within touching distance of actually making a comeback here. We did say 5 rounds historically was the golden number for Na'Vi to get back into it, but At the moment, in the current form of Singles map, not really going to be the case. Still Guardian can do, goes down to 52 HP, takes a nade to the face. Smith's more defensive angle here, just be watching the right hand side of that box to see where we get the first pick here.
Guardian backs off of B, just think a little to work with.
Scream towards long A though. Very aggressive towards the end. He's have 2 players facing him as well. Normally a flashbang coming over in his position. He's in a position that actually won't affect him, but the Molotov certainly will.
Yep, and he's got a backpedal. He manages to get on top of barrels. He nearly sprays down both. Simple somehow only comes away with slight damage against him. Because the flush out, he could have been caught in movement, not had the accuracy. So 1 for 1 isn't the end of the world for G2 in that situation, all things considered, but it does still favor Na'Vi as it thins the defense and they can go back over toward B. 2 inside the site, slow rotation coming over. First to arrive in that rotation would be RPK. Shock's just behind him. It's Body from a distance to cover off through that smoke. Senses the flashes coming through. He's able to dodge them out. Smith's AWP watching Arch at drop. Now that a player's gone closer to it, he can fix his focus back toward that position on platform. Flamey down. Misses the second shot though, but it's followed up. Shocks is able to take down Simple as it were, but he found Body before that, which does still favor Na'Vi, who find yet another kill. Seized, gone. It's on to Guardian again. AWP picked up. RPK behind the rock, and he's going to try and find him. Scoped in, sees the shoulder, baits out the shot. Does RPK. And on the M4, he's trying to bait it out again. He hasn't been able to close the distance, but bomb down. He's got to go grab it, and RPK is going to take advantage. Nice
awareness from RPK. You know exactly where the bombers as well. The time was so low for Guardian, though. We just saw it toward the end. 2 seconds remaining, so he couldn't even win the round. I think at that point, Guardian's trying to stay alive. That shot, actually, maybe putting the trigger a little bit prematurely there. Had an opportunity to potentially actually go a little bit wide and refined it, but unable to land it. It's going to be 14-6 now. Money looks like it will be still a possibility to buy into this one. We'll see in a second when the scoreboard's off. Yep, 4 AKs, an AWP still for Guardian. So this is pretty much it now. Last chance saloon for the terrorists. It will be slightly weaker buy from G2 after losing a couple of frags there. They're going to have 2 players on UMPs. That's Body and Shocks. Still have the AWP on Smith though, and he'll be towards middle, waiting for this initial exchange. It's probably the same lineup we saw from Guardian before, trying to spam through the mid door there, trying to line it up, see if we can get a player and connect. Not meant to be this time. Shoxy boosted and dropped down. It's what we didn't see from Na'Vi.
Yep, that's exactly what we talked about.
Yeah, it works out for him. Takes down Seized, his nemesis.
Tries to take it off. RPK hits the one on the boost up at the corner on A, but Guardian immediately responds with an AWP shot. He couldn't fall away. It's supposed to be a quick kill and then safety plan, but it doesn't work out. Shocks has had to rotate into the site behind the APC as a result. Flash will go deep, but no one peeking just yet. Smith's slow, but he's got an AWP. It's going to be enough to get information for Shocks to peek. Body's going to follow up. Smith has fallen, but it doesn't matter because G2, they've got all the kills required, all but that of Simple, who does have the bomb, and he's made it into connector, so he's going to rush this over to be as fast as possible. They're slowly realizing that potential, but they aren't fully on his heels just yet. Maybe they think he's still down at the bottom mid. No, they do know he's there. Okay. So Plant comes in for Simple. It's an M4 on Body with no kit, and an SMG, a UMP on Shocks, who does have a kit, and they're going to boost up to split their positions on trying to retake the site. Simple, he's gone to Chicken Coop. Very spammable. He's going to have to get a read early on.
Was it an AK there for Shocks to pick up? I'm pretty sure he just ran past one. Sticking with the UMP, interesting.
There definitely would have been one somewhere on the A side. I don't know if it was whether or not where he
went
by
or not. They boosted up.
He
ran past one. I saw it.
Oh, Shocks. He's going to go down to Simple right away. This does leave it vulnerable. Body's not going to bother spraying through. He wants to push in. He wants to rush it down, and Simple's going to hold it. Spots him, hears him, takes him, and it's going to be now 7 rounds for Na'Vi, 14 still for G2.
Yeah, he boosted up onto that drop down. He got the kill on Seas, who had an AK, runs past it and drop down. Definitely I saw it from his POV, but that was weird. Anyway, it is Simple there. A round where Na'Vi almost were out of it, 2 versus 1. Simple, though, makes his way towards B, using that smoke as a veil. CT didn't want to push for it, trying to stick together at that point, and Simple comes out of top using the Chicken Coop to finish things off. Shoxy, though, buys an M4 into this round. He must have a little bit more cash than his teammates. Definitely went down in the previous, so it's not a save. He actually invested quite a lot of money into this round. Body armor as well. Nades coming towards drop. Body taking quite considerable damage. There goes down to 26 HP.
Yeah, and the 5.7, he's the only kit. So him going down at drop would be an issue because they would presumably take the position immediately after his death, and then the kit would be ungrabbable. Irrecoverable. Smoke up between the arch at long. Scream with a deagle. Quick check toward drop, make sure no one's gone down that he's not aware of. No push yet for information from A. They do still have one player boosted in the corner above danger. That's Smiths. He's electing not to go any further. He's got a Zeus, so that's a good thing Rushley's not here. Additional smokes from G2, who are actually doing better in terms of saving utility for later in the round than Na'Vi was on their CT side, because this is 36 seconds. There's a smoke out. This is going to allow Shox late to push in toward the arch. He's going to get aggressive, actually. He's hoping that a flash goes through, that they're going to commit to this, and they will. They're going to go through, but they've got to go now. Otherwise, that's going to dissolve, and he's in the open. Guardian sees it. Quick shot. Simple's able to cover him off by taking down Body, and Guardian's covered. And the AWP will be coming inside of the site. It's going to be Flamey that kills off Simple. So call that a trade because it's a team kill, but it doesn't matter. Na'Vi's got all the kills required.
I think that was a full force from G2. Yeah, it was almost suddenly. So that's why Shoxy had the M4. His teammates forcing him with the pistols there, so he had a bit more money than everyone else. You can see them actually having second save loss bonus, so $1,900. So that's what happened in the previous round. An interesting decision considering the scoreline itself. But 32 kills to Simple. That's kind of nuts if you think about it. Like how many rounds he's actually got and how many kills he's managed to deliver. He's certainly firing on all cylinders. Not so much his teammates as of yet, as we go to round number 23. A full eco for G2, 5 USPs, nothing purchased into this round. Another default here. A chance for Navi to get back into this game for sure. It's double figures. That's when things start to get interesting. It's suddenly a T-sided map. Done quite yet, it seems, as Guardian finds that first shot on Smiths. This could be the A-side open as well. It's a B stack from the CTs. They're going to be planting, and that's going to be round over. It pretty much was over before it began, considering they didn't spend any money.
Flames inside of the vents. Edward's going to cover them off. Make sure no one can push through. As he does, though, he spots two inside a connector. First one successful, RPK down. Pistol's not able to respond. Scream does, though. Head taken off of Edward, but seized. Him finding another kill onto Body means it's just Scream and Shox remaining. And seized already caught one on the rotation. He's looking for more. Nice shot on the taps from the AK.
Tapping away. Just Scream now, unable to salvage a weapon that the kill he picked up. It'll be surely meeting his demise. Does actually dink Seas there, but Seas with the range advantage, of course, with the AK. Manages to find his third kill of the round. It will be 49 now. Money's still not perfect for G2. Certainly can't get the AWP. Smiths could get glass cannon if he really wanted to. What's the call out? And Cobble is one of those maps you can certainly justify. You can keep the range long enough to actually take duels and not be vulnerable towards grenades. Can't go as aggressive towards that platform. But you can play on the bomb site and see what G2 brings to the table here. They have tried the drop-down boost itself. RPK, a safe set of hands for the drop-down position. We'll see what happens as he starts to set up here. Smoke and flashes go in. A little bit of a ruse, it seems, because the bomb's towards middle and it's going to be Simple. Maybe thrown into the site by himself and try and cause a distraction here, keep the CDs from rotating towards A.
Smith's waiting for a shot to present itself at the bottom of mid. Flash games in, did catch him out. He was in the open when it happened, but no one peeking out from the long corner. Edward not going to capitalize on it. Good view of the setup right now from Na'Vi. Can't concede any further rounds. In theory, okay, I get it, Henry. Yes, they could give up one more and the game would not be over, but they're going to try and pull this back. They want to play for the win.
Smith's been taken down to 18 HP. He's got that glass cannon, so very vulnerable now. 50-second mark, it will be a B-sided commitment from Na'Vi. Flamey makes his presence known with the drop down there. Footstep made and Scream in a tight position here. The smoke's not going to be available for them. Let's get the hold off with pure gunfire here as we come into the final play from Na'Vi.
Good shot from Scream. Turns back and finds a second in toward drop, but the swing out only goes for so far because Simple had him dead to rights. Pinched against the wall, nowhere to hide. Seized, will hit Smiths, who did at least find Guardian just before. And just as fast as we saw the kill come one way, the other was in favor of G2, but the last goes to Simple, and it's now 14-10, I believe. If we just had a... No, we didn't. Okay, I thought we had a timeout called from G2.
Not quite yet. It's going to be another eco for them. Actually investing quite a lot into this round. They must be getting to maximum loss bonus at this point. Shoxy with the 5.7 body armor. Similar story for RPK, but he's got a PT50. So just going in with some upgraded pistols here. Certainly a team that can deliver with these weapons, but still very unlikely they can pick up the round. It's going to be a full buy, of course, for Na'Vi. 4 AKs and Guardian on the AWP. Actually have got a slim chance of bringing this one back now. One mistake will be match points. After a very successful map on Train, Na'Vi. It was interesting, we discussed this before, how they allowed Cobble to come into the map pool here, but so far in the second half, actually putting up a decent fight.
Guardian. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Say,
go ahead, Henry.
I was just going to say they lost the pistol, but that third round AK buy, which was weird from G2. The fact they actually went in with 5 SMGs on round number 2, that didn't really make a lot of sense to me, if I'm completely honest.
You're allowed to be honest. Your honesty is welcome here. Edward Smiths is not welcome here.
Yeah.
Finds him at the barrels, fairly straightforward. G2 again with no money. It's going to be simple with an execution onto Shocks, who tries to do what damage he can with a 5-7. Flamey's overlooked it. There was a gun barrel there. He nearly snapped back in time, but he gets caught out by a crossfire with RPK. Finds the second onto Edward, but down he goes. It's on to Scream. 1 versus 3. Inside of the site, bomb down. Hang on. Deagle in hand. Simple's isolated himself going through the vents toward the balcony. And that gives Scream a little bit more movement. Goes for the peek on Guardian. It's pistol versus pistol. And Simple's gotten tagged down at 34. The Deagle from Scream. It's menacing. And he's buying himself some space. Does get caught in the backside as he rotates back over toward the hut and the telephone pole by Guardian. And Guardian's going to close it with the P250. But he definitely made it interesting.
Yeah, RPK with 2 kills there. Shocks doing what he can with the Deagle towards the back. Does some damage, but ultimately Na'Vi do manage to find round number 11. This is crunch time once again for Na'Vi. They need to take it round by round at this point. Doing a very good job here in the second half after losing 11-4. Haven't really given too much away in the second half. Managing to really grind this out. 7 rounds to them now. As we get to number 26. The final chapter here of the second map. Smiths wants to get on the AWP. Won't be doing anything too risque. Just towards top and middle this time, adjusting towards long A. That's been a heavy point of contention for Na'Vi, getting control of that position and falling back towards B. He'll be looking to challenge this time. You know he likes to hold that angle, as you described before, kind of a little bit of tighter one on the corner, knows it's, what's the word, clipping. The woman towards long A we discussed yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So there's no actual hitbox on the outside of that cinder block. It doesn't match up 1-to-1 with the graphics, so you can fire through the edge of it without it deterring any bullet damage. Top of the ramp, they're going to go quickly. Na'Vi caught by RPK, though, and it's 1 kill in. He's still got some ammo to work with, but his health, it's limiting. Smiths did pick up Edward from a similar position out toward long, and no one pressuring through danger gives Smiths the position without any threat from behind to take down Guardian. Now he's got to consider the alternate angle, and Flamey's made it over top of the half wall, but he's caught by Shocks. Rotations all coming in timely fashion from G2, and they'll completely thwart Na'Vi's potential of getting to the site. 15 rounds now for them. They sit on map point.
Yeah, nice adjustment there from G2, sending Smiths towards long A this time, managing to get that first kill. RPK with a interesting altercation to the start. Managed to go 1 for 1 though. It's enough to keep Smiths alive. He actually finds his second kill. It's Guardian trying to take him down, and then Smiths is staying alive towards that stable area. Just long enough, his teammates rotate in. APC kills come in, and G2, there it is. Round number 15 has been achieved. We go into maybe the last round here. You can see there is just enough to buy for Na'Vi, but limited. It's going to be 2 players, Seized and Edward, with pretty much no utility between them. They do have the AWP of Guardian though. Guardian looking for any aggressive play from the CTs at the start of the round. Nothing coming in just yet. It will be Shocks on the upper platform this time. Double AWP set up for the CTs.
Yeah, exactly that, and Shocks in that archway.
And this is when we normally see the double AWP set up. You just win a round, you've killed an AWPer, then you bring it in. You're not forcing it every single time.
Oh, that is so problematic,
Yeah.
Guardian. He didn't. I don't know how he did, and he must have missed his forehead by a millimeter. The gun barrel just came through the door. Smiths, that would have been huge to start it off for G2 on map point. Split this series. Screams got an aggressive, a little more forward stance for the CTs toward Long B. In already to the secondary boxes, but not all the way through into the lobby of the B tunnels. And at sound of a drop, they're going to go. Seize will fall into the platform. Or rather, excuse me, Guardian will. Seize is going to hold the window so Flamey can follow as well. Edward will be the first to confront Scream though, and Shocks, he's already playing on platform, looking back into the archway. Well played on that AWP. Never had to worry about being Molotov'd off the position because the position covered by Scream, who has been traded and gone down, but it's a 4 versus 2 for G2. And Simple into the corner, trying to find a way back out. Shocks is going to be watching him. Bomb down. It's just on one. Seized, and he's found by body. 16-11, G2 taken, and again, Na'Vi, the first half haunts them dearly. Their T side, it looked okay.
Yeah, they're
but
getting
their
back into
CT
it.
was never there.
No, it really wasn't. You can see them once again, the same issues haunting them. Drop down was a massive issue. That man on your screen right now, Shoxy, he seemed to have full control of that first half almost single-handedly, getting towards that drop-down position every single time. Seeds couldn't hold him off. Na'Vi with no real adjustment there, just getting completely shut down every single time. As soon as Shocks got in that position, his teammates get towards A, they get towards B, hitting all the frags required. 11-4. Yes, it's quite admirable to have a decent comeback in the second half, but ultimately they don't post a decent enough performance to pick up the second map here. But they did win trains. We split the series once again. Seems to be quite a common trait here in this LAN event so far. Lots of 1-1s coming in.
Yeah, I mean, tons. And this, we've already talked about the complexion of the groups because of it, specifically in Hellraiser's group. We do have the Fnatic game coming up with SK. If they go 1-1, then that whole group is up for grabs in the matter of 2 games tomorrow. So I'm impressed. I'm excited. This group's getting interesting as well. G2, 1-1, 1-1. Everyone's dead even.
Yeah.
And we knew this best of 2 format in a round robin would create some interesting storylines, but I think Hellraisers is the most interesting so far.
The fact we have enough time to actually do it, it's actually really cool to see this format working out. And we apologize for the technical delay. It was kind of out of our reach.
It was all your fault.
ISPs and Twitch were doing all sorts. But at this point, we'll throw it over to the desk. Guys, what did you make of that map?